sisters, brothers, siblings in the Episcopal Church in Northern Indiana. Grace and peace be with you in Jesus, the light for all people. Greetings, friends, from Baltimore. It's Sunday, the third full legislative day of the General Convention 80. It's a wonderful blessing to be here with my colleagues in the House of Bishops and with members of the House of Deputies, our deputation particularly. I'm grateful for their good and hard work in managing the life and governance of the Church. Our two houses deal with things somewhat differently given the size of the House and the number of persons in the House. We've had several table conversations in the House of Bishops that I'd like to share a bit with you about. The first is a resolution that focuses on putting together a process for prayer book revision. We've had some important conversation about how to move forward with that, holding in tension the sort of action of memorializing the Book of Common Prayer in 1979, as well as how do we move forward. Lined up as well with a real concern about making sure that we attend to the rights for marriage and holding focus on that. So a number of important things are going on around that I think will be helpful for us as we look at the next 7 to 8 to 9 years regarding prayer book revision. The second is paying attention to the experience of those who were part of the indigenous schools. As you know, I walked the Potawatomi Trail of Death as part of my sabbatical, that time of remembrance and lament. And while we didn't have any schools in our diocese, there isn't a diocese in the Episcopal Church, especially in this particular country, that hasn't been affected by the experience of indigenous people. So bringing that to our attention is also important. The other piece that we spent a significant amount of time this morning, Sunday, talking about was the rise of and how we engage in conversations around white Christian nationalism. And my friends, that is a reality. And we need to speak in ways that are clear and direct to address those kinds of dynamics within our country, and also that's present in other countries that are a part of the Episcopal Church. And lastly, the hard work that we're doing around creation care and attention to the overriding concerns, especially for persons who are in poverty, who live in island communities. Their experience of the issues of creation care need to be brought to our greater attention. So thank you in the midst of hearing all the things going behind me and Christopher videoing this. Thank you for your support and prayer. Know that you're daily in my prayer, and I look forward to catching up with you in the next few days. Grace and peace be with you, my friends.
Hi there, I'm Evan Doyle from Gethsemane and Marion. This is my very first time at General Convention. And I've been really having a great time here doing the work of our church. I've been excited to hear about the work we are voted to start on including LGBTQ people more in the church. The work that we've started to do more truth-telling and reckoning and reconciliation and healing about racial justice in the history of the Episcopal Church. And the broader work that we've been doing to make our church more inclusive and more accessible for everyone. So that's been really exciting for me to be able to be here at General Convention and take part in voting to move that work forward for our church.
I'm Terry Bays, the priest at Church of the Holy Trinity South Bend and missioner for transitions and formation. This is my second General Convention, and what really stood out for me was our memorialization of those women deputies who in the mid-60s and in the General Convention of 1970 were duly elected but not seated, and who therefore had not been memorialized before at the times of their deaths. Today at Eucharist, we lifted up those names to God in memory of them. And it was deeply moving as a reminder of their service in the face of a great deal of opposition, when it was not a given that anyone could serve in the House of Deputies.
All right. I'm Brian Gransom, Dean of the Cathedral of St. James in South Bend. One of the things that I have loved over the 6 General Conventions that I've been a part of is the worship that we experience every morning. And I was concerned this year by our inability to sing congregationally, which has in some way taken away the spirit of our worship. However, that has been more than made up for by our chaplain, Lester McKenzie, who is a phenomenal orator, and his prayers are so incredibly meaningful and powerful, but also by the power of the preaching that we have received from Presiding Bishop Michael Curry, from House of Deputies President Gay Jennings, and this morning from the Bishop of Maryland, Eugene Sutton. I commend all of those to you. They're available online, just preaching about inclusion and justice and about discipleship and the courage to take those first steps in doing the work that Jesus has asked us to do. So, check out the worship of the General Convention. It is powerful.
Hello, my name is Pamela Harris, and I'm from St. Andrews in Valparaiso, and this is my 5th General Convention. I am intrigued by the difference in this convention compared to the others that I've been to. It is almost as if we are deliberately putting aside our normal collegiality in response to the COVID epidemic, even though we're taking every precaution possible to prevent the spread. And it makes it very difficult for us to really talk about the important issues that are coming before this convention.
Hi, I'm Tim Scamena from St. Timothy's in Griffith. I'm a 4th-time deputy to General Convention, and the thing that has impressed me the most so far is the willingness and interest of the church to look into forced internment of children in Episcopal schools, and hear the testimony and hear the suffering and the pain of the people, the survivors that are deputies that testified when we were passing the resolution and debating the resolution to investigate and document all of the people that were interned and to return them to their native lands for burial. Hopefully we'll have much more positive things going on in the General Convention going forward. Peace to you. Thank you.
Hey EDNIN, this is Mother Kirstengadaro. I assist at Gethsemane in Marion and float around the diocese for supply work as well. This is my first General Convention. I am delighted and thrilled to be here and appreciate the diocese sending me. What has stood out to me the most, and we've had some really wonderful moments together so far, was when the House of Deputies voted to approve the reunification of the Diocese of North Texas with the Diocese of Texas, hearing their testimony of the schism in their diocese and being able to participate in the sort of reaffirmation of that reunified group was incredibly powerful, especially for someone like myself who came to the Episcopal Church walking out of ACNA. This actually contributed to my own healing and was incredibly powerful to stand in witness and solidarity with that group.
Hi, I'm Christopher Hillick from the Cathedral of St. James and also working on the bishop's staff. I've mentioned just 2 things quickly that have stood out to me about convention. One is just the adjustments that we've had to make for COVID. Working on the credentials committee, I've seen a lot of that work kind of behind the scenes, things that have had to happen leading up to convention. And it's just been really great to see how the General Convention office has worked quickly to make some adjustments that we needed to make. The second thing I would say is just the work that we've done regarding works on racial reconciliation, inclusion of LGBTQ people, the inclusion of women in our church, and different resolutions that have come before us to advance the work of those groups of people and to make them more included in the work that we're doing here in the church. And I just feel that that's really exciting steps that we're taking. So thank you.
Hi, I'm TJ Freeman. I serve as Rector of Trinity Episcopal Church in Fort Wayne. I also have the honor to serve as chair of our deputation here to the 80th General Convention. You've already heard from everybody else all of the wonderful things that are happening here. And I just want to say thank you to our deputation and their congregations and their families for letting us be away for these 5 or 6 days, for supporting us and for praying for us. Just continue to keep us in your prayers, and we look forward to seeing you when we get home. Thank you.